Hello, everybody. Welcome to Radio Mythoverse for December the 10th, 2019. December is my favorite month, has been for most of my life. There's something about the feel of spirituality in the air, or maybe the cold weather just energizes me, since obviously being of Irish stock, I'm built for it. We're just playing some nice relaxing holiday music to get everyone into the spirit. Hi folks, I'm Dan, Editor-in-Chief of the Mythoverse. We have a lot to talk about on this very cold Tuesday evening, but it's all good stuff. Even the not-so-good stuff, if that makes sense. It will when we get to it. With me tonight is Brett, our Head of Community Outreach, and Matt, our lead writer. What's up, guys?
The ceiling.
Hey guys.
Hey everyone. We have a lot to talk about tonight, and it's mostly all good news. I think that after all the work we and everyone else involved has put in, I'd say we're ending the year on a high note, wouldn't you?
Oh, most definitely.
Most definitely. Yeah, I'd say that.
Cool. So on the panel tonight we have Alabaster Scarf, Duskquill, and Dylan. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Glad you all could make it. Glad to have you as always. Always happy to see you guys interacting in the Discord whenever you have a chance to do that. And as usual, glad to have you here on the panel with us. We've got Gorgonite Emissary in the chat. Sup? And Paula Ritchie says, hey y'all. Hey Paula. Glad to see you. Before we get into all the news that we're going to discuss tonight, let's go ahead and get right to our community segment because we have something very special on that score tonight. And it's going to go on a little bit longer than our usual community outreach segment. So why don't we just start off with Brett, who won the No Prize this week?
It wasn't Dylan.
No,
It wasn't
Oh my god.
You're full of it.
No, it was not Dylan.
This better not be a joke.
Morganite, okay. I'll pull it up just so everyone can see.
Is it Nebel? I bet it's Nebel.
Nope.
Well, this ought to be exciting.
While
Mine wasn't sad enough.
you're getting that up, Brett, we have Justin.
Leaderboard.
Justin in the chat. Hey, Justin. And Justin was, as he mentioned, he recently reviewed all three of our books for the website escapezero.org.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk more about that later, but I'm really glad to have you here in the chat. So Brett.
I just want to see if anyone else has clicked the link in general.
I'm on it.
I have not. I will. Oh, god damn it, Gorgonite.
Mother of God.
Mother of God.
Because he kept posting.
Well, yeah, that's what
No
happened.
shit, Dylan. It's like that's how the contest works.
Well, yeah, but it's like just suddenly he had this sudden burst of like, you know what I mean?
Were you slacking on the NSFW this week?
So,
No,
are you
and-
saying that Gorgonite sniped the position in a
He
burst?
broke Dylan's second wind at a streak.
So he Brock Lesnar'd him?
I
Something
won
like
fair
that.
and square through the ancient noble art of spamming like an asshole.
Gorgonite,
Well,
can you
who would
please
be
pull up
Paul
your rank
Heyman in
card?
that scenario?
Hey, that was a pretty long streak right there.
Yes, it was.
Someone had to break that combo.
Combo breaker.
Combo breaker.
Combo breaker.
All right, well, congratulations, and you get the no prize this week. Try harder next time, Dylan.
You dick.
Whoa.
Brett, you're going.
Hey, guys, who is that? Who is that? Yeah. Brett. All right. For those of you who are wondering why it just went quiet,
Goodbye, eardrums.
it's because Brett blasted us with a bunch of static. So
I did nothing. I didn't do shit. It's my mic.
well,
So ear rape was the reward. Nice.
yeah. So anyway, hopefully everyone that's listening was spared that because I muted the onboard audio. If not, I apologize. But anyway, okay. So now that seems to be rectified, Brett, take your mic to task for that. We're gonna move on. We're gonna
My phone.
we're gonna move on to the next segment of the community segment, and it's a special one this week because what we're going to do right now is we ran a Christmas card contest. We received several entries, and we would like to show off all the entries and decide on the winner. The winner, of course, gets a cash prize, $75, and the Christmas card design will be offered for sale with a kickback. So let's go ahead and have a look at them, shall we? I'm going to show them up here one at a time, and we'll have a look at them side by side when we're done. Okay, so first one I want to show here is this one was done by Nebel. That's the name that this artist goes by in our Discord, and this is a gorgeous little highly stylized depiction of the three Mythoverse ladies singing Yuletide carols. Maeve looks like an adorable little Dickinsonian ragamuffin, if you will. Adobe looks spiritual, and Althea looks dubious. So they all have their own little caricature going on here, and they're all.
You know, I've never really noticed until now, but from the way everything's positioned, it looks like Maeve is checking Althea out.
Well, from the angle, Althea does have a very well endowed butt, so.
Maeve is starting to question her sexuality.
Oh, Maeve is still very young in this drawing. Either that or she's standing in a hole, so I don't know. One of the two.
I mean, might be getting around to that age. Start questioning some things.
Althea's looking at Maeve the way my mom used to look at me in church when I was super little, and I would constantly get lost during the hymns.
Well,
I
Maeve.
think that's what he's trying to do.
Well, Maeve is apparently lost. She looks awfully perplexed looking into the hymn book there. So maybe Althea's noticed that, and she's going to be offering to help Maeve find her place. So anyway, that's this one.
Oh.
Okay.
Something I'd like to take away from this is we all, like, everyone knows that it's canon that Adobe sucks at the banjo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she tried.
Well, you know that, Dan.
Well,
Obviously, you would know that.
well,
What?
where? My question is, how does this tie into this image, or is this a non sequitur?
There's a point.
Okay, what's the point?
There's a. Okay, so do you remember writing in whether or not Adobe can sing?
No, she can't sing.
Because I was about to. That is kind of a bummer because I almost thought, maybe she can't play the banjo, but at least she can carry a tune.
No. There's a running gag that she loves to karaoke, and she's absolutely hopeless at it. So, all right.
Can
Wow,
she at least keep a beat?
She can keep a beat, sure, but she's otherwise.
Anyone
tone
can keep a beat. Anyone can keep a beat.
Ho, 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 ho.
You'd be surprised.
All right. So
A beat
have
is not
seen
that
the
hard.
I
A
have
beat
seen
is not that hard. You just gotta go bum 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 bum.
again.
bum,
You'd be surprised.
all right.
Actually, that's more of a rhythm than a beat.
Yeah. So anyway, a beat is just a note value. That's all it is.
Bold of you to assume.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay,
this next one is Paula Ritchie's, and I'm gonna have to zoom in on this one because it's vertically oriented. But let me see if I can do that.
Oh boy.
But
Them kids and their verticals.
so we have the Mythoverse girls setting up a Christmas tree, and it looks like Maeve has Gavin there in her hands, or some other gray cat. And
Probably.
then we have Adobe in a nice turtleneck with a mug with the crucifix on it, which is appropriate, and Althea checking out the star ornament, and some really nice looking snowflakes there along the bottom and along the top. I like the atmosphere here. The cool color in the background sort of fades off from blue into purple. It's relaxing.
Looks kind of like a Hallmark card.
It really
Not that
does.
that's a bad thing.
No.
Not that that's a bad thing.
I really like her style. It looks like it belongs in a children's book.
Adobe seems rather, I
Concerned.
don't know, maybe not very impressed by the star.
Well, you know, you've seen one star, you've seen them all, I guess. They're just a star.
Or maybe she would have rather put up an angel instead.
Yeah. The cool thing about this is you can read whatever you want into those expressions.
Yeah.
So this is a beautiful piece too. I really love this one.
Maeve looking like she's barely holding a disaster together.
Well, it looks like the cat's about to rip the tree down. It looks like looks like the cat is like struggling for dear life to stay on the tree and is about to just take everything down with it.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but cats, they love to hide in things like trees.
Be rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, Maeve's here to save Christmas.
The day that Maeve saved Christmas, yes. Well, at least her glamour is holding together. I mean, she looks like her human self there, so.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so let's go on over to the next one here. Okay, this one here is done by Neostar. We all love Neostar.
Ooh, Neo.
Yeah. So this one here has a nice little play on words. Have yourself a Merry Mytho Christmas. And it's got
That's great.
it's got Adobe as Rudolph. It's got
Althea as
Mrs.
Santa.
Claus,
Yeah.
Santa and or Mrs. Claus. Take your
And
pick.
then Maeve, obviously an elf.
She's the elf, of course. She's by default
for
she
a
plays
second
the
I
elf.
thought she was Vartapete.
Nah. Jeez.
Paula says, "Thank you. The cat situation will be."
Adobe's a furry confirmed.
Oh no!
No, she's a bit. She's a little bit on the deviant side, but she's definitely no furry.
Wait, I can't see the drawing. She's in a fursuit.
Well, she's dressed up as
She-
Rudolph.
She is in a reindeer suit. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's just not getting around it. Gorgonite does not have a G setting.
No, he does not.
Anyway, so Paula says, "Thank
Don't
you. The
say
cat
that.
situation will be played out here in real life shortly." All right.
I did not think Gorgonite could make himself G-rated if he wanted to.
All right.
Oh, of course not.
Okay. Well, if it was a furry suit, wouldn't it also have a full face mask with like a cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it would.
All right. So I think she's fine. I don't think she's a furry. She's just getting into the spirit. That's all. All right. So there's that one. Now let me
So
go.
she's a seasonal one. Okay.
A seasonal furry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Every year when the con comes around.
Oh no.
All right. So this next one here is done by Alabaster. Okay, and it looks like
That's nice.
it looks like almost exactly like one of those cards you'd send out of your family that has a photograph and then a little banner on it.
Yeah, it's like when you go for a professional photographer to make.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
like when you get your photos done at the photo lab over at Walgreens.
Yeah. And it looks like they're
You
each.
were about to say Sears, weren't you, Brett?
No one goes to Sears.
Well, that's why you stopped yourself, I assume.
I honestly forgot Sears even existed.
Somehow.
I
We
like
have a
the
Sears over by my mall.
I like the little touches here with Adobe's red and green clothes because that's seasonal, and Althea's little sweater around her neck and or a scarf.
And it
Yeah, it's a
looks
scarf.
like Maeve might be wearing a sweater too due to the collar.
Yeah. And I like how the names are all in different fonts, so it looks like they signed their names. That's a nice touch too.
And of course, Althea will go for the fancy writing.
Of course. Well, yeah, she's definitely got that elegance to her. Okay, so that's...
I mean, you can just tell by that hairdo that she puts all the finer details and everything.
You can.
yeah,
Well, Matt would know that. Matt would be able to confirm that. Would he?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
but
Wait,
it's your character.
so in other words, yes.
Okay.
Canon.
In other words, yes. AKA.
Yeah, this one is great because it looks like a family photo, and it looks like the background looks like those backgrounds they pull down on the paper behind you, and you're just like,
Do Althea and Adobe both have green eyes?
yeah, I know Adobe does.
Hmm.
Yeah, her dad was a full-blooded
Dad?
Irishman.
No, Althea's got blue.
Blue.
Crap, I kept going through all the other artwork again just to see.
All right, well, it's fine.
Maybe it's just the lighting.
She's wearing contacts.
Could be lying.
She's wearing contacts. There you go.
It's fine.
Well,
She has to.
well,
She
Well,
has to
for-
match. Come on.
I was gonna say for perspective, Leandra 2, who did Adobe with brown eyes and Althea with green eyes that one time.
Actually, I think I might have to look back at the file because they might have been blue, but I put like a sort of yellow filter on it just for the candlelight sort of look too.
Nice. Well,
That might be
regardless,
why, I don't know.
I love this piece. It's really well done. Good job, Alabaster.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
So, lastly, we have Dylan's, which is a very special one.
Look at this photograph.
And look at this photograph.
I swear to God.
Anyway.
I'm gonna hurt you.
It makes me laugh.
I am going to hurt you, Dylan.
All right. All right. So what's going on here is this is Dobie and her big sister Riley, whom she idolizes and adores more than life itself, because she sees Riley as sort of an idealized version of what she could have been herself had she been raised with the love that Riley was raised with. So she looks up to her in a way that's practically hero worship. So in this particular photograph here, it looks like a faded photograph from the period, and she sent it to her sister and said, "Sorry I didn't visit you this year. Merry Christmas." And that's sort of like a reference to the fact that in her adult life, she rarely, if ever, sees her family because she's estranged from most of them. But the only one she really, truly misses is her sister, Riley.
This is very nice, but you know what would have made this even better?
What's that?
If there were creases in the thing and a little bit of some tear around the edges to look like it's a thing that's not even been sent and kept around for years.
Well, actually, the idea was that she made it into a card, so.
Okay.
Oh, she probably
no.
scanned the photograph. I think over here.
All I remember is Dylan said he was trying to replicate the look and feel of an old Polaroid.
Right.
An old Polaroid.
Yeah, she made it. She made this. Yeah, she made it into a card. If you open it up, it's like she probably left $1. I'm just kidding.
I was saying, it would look even better if maybe not like a crease, but in a sort of a two lines, horizontal and vertical, of some white fade, it's been
Oh yeah, I get it.
been closed and been
Folded.
open a few times.
Been folded.
Yeah,
Oh,
been
yeah.
folded pretty often.
Yeah.
Just get that really old feeling to it, it's just a thing she made years ago that never went anywhere. So she just keeps looking at it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and place all the images side by side, or as best as I can manage them, and so we can all have a good look at all of them at once. Because these are all really cool in their own ways, so it's really hard to say this is the one that wins.
They got their own nice little personal touches.
Yeah, like this Dylan one here is like Justin said, right in the feels, but it's then we have this one, which is right in the feels in another way. So it's difficult to say which one is objectively our favorite. So.
Look at this photograph.
Oh no, here we go again.
Oh my god. Alright, so there's Neostar's one.
I have a bit of a problem with this one.
Alright, so which one's missing here? Nebbles? Alright.
Neostar's not here. I'm surprised.
No, that's too bad.
It usually does appear at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably see him at the halfway mark, though.
Okay.
More likely.
So
Because that's typically when it shows up the most things, is halfway through.
So Brett and Matt and I discussed which one of these we feel is the winner of the contest. But because it is Christmas, and because I love each and every one of these images, all of the runner-ups will also be getting a $20 cash prize. But the winner will be getting the big $75 cash prize, and the design will go up on our store. Yeah. So Brett, Matt, do you agree with me that in terms of what we'd like to offer for sale is Nebbles?
Oh yeah.
That's the one with the caroling, right?
Yeah, the three girls
Yes.
caroling.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love all of these, but in terms of like the design, I would
That
like
even
to.
sounds like a great title. Mytho Girls Caroling.
Mytho Girls caroling. Yeah.
Jeez.
We're gonna play them in the future.
Okay. So guys, what do you think? Is it Nibbles?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nebbles, congratulations. You will get the $75 cash prize. But Paula and Neostar and Alabaster and Dylan will each get a $20 cash prize. I'll hook up with you guys later on to get the information I need if I don't have it to send off that cash for you. And Merry Christmas and thanks for participating in this contest. They're all gorgeous.
Man.
Personally, my
This is a lot of
favorite.
fun.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite's the Alabaster one because it kind of just gives off the feeling that the Mythoverse comics is a family project.
It kind of is in a way. We definitely have become something of a extended family with all the time we spent together and all the mistakes we've made and all the growth that we've undergone over the past year. And all the friends we've made too. I mean, this has been
And all the porn we've drawn.
and all the porn we've drawn and all the
God.
Hey, Alabaster. If you feel like it, my home dog, just for me, every time there's a new phase to the Mythoverse comics, just redo your Christmas card just to keep extending the family.
I love that idea. Love that idea.
Yeah.
I like it too.
It'd be really great. Then at some point we just get like an entire like living room picture of all the Mythoverse people.
Yeah, you can draw Helen. Yay, my character.
Well, that was great. I loved going through all that art with everybody, and I loved sharing it, and I'm really glad that you guys took the time and shared your talent with us and helped enrich the Mythoverse just a little bit more with your art. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Can I ask something real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so are the digital copies of the comics still available?
Yes. They are in. Did you not receive the link to download them?
I did. I'm just wondering where you get more from.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely going to read.
Okay.
We were working on something like that because, like, as far as I know, Wicked hasn't set up a virtual store yet.
Yeah, we
did.
These are all things that we're going to discuss in a moment. But we're going to get to all that in the next section because we still have a lot of announcements to make. But first, guys, before we go any further, because the next segment's going to go on for a while, because I'm going to talk about the last year and all the trials and tribulations and mistakes we made. That will hopefully help anyone who is launching their next campaign to avoid the same mistakes we made. And also talk about like all the things we did right, because there's a honey and a hatchet thing going on here. But in the interest of full disclosure and owning up to all the mistakes, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I am learning from what went wrong and I'm going to improve upon it next year. So guys, Brett and Matt, can you get onto the StreamYard?
Yep.
Yeah. Give me hold up. I wanted to be buzzed back in because I had to walk out from the.
No worries. Go ahead and connect with that and make sure you're muted over there before you come in.
I know for a fact I had the settings something up, but I'll be sure. Hold up.
Okay.
That talk about the virtual copies of the comic books made me realize how much stuff I'm going to need to re-download due to my laptop breaking on me.
Oh no.
Oh god, I had so much stuff I got to re-download.
If by any chance you're having trouble re-downloading from the link, just ping me on either Twitter or in Discord if you're in the Discord, and I will give you the permanent download link that should hopefully always be there unless Dropbox just goes belly up.
Fair enough.
Buzzing me in. Yeah, mine buzzing me in, Dan.
You're buzzed in. Where is Mr. Matt?
I'm in here.
I don't see you.
Mr. Mundane Man.
Mr. Matt Mundane, or whatever you're called.
No, stop, no.
Wait a minute, Matt, no! Matt, no!
Not Rockman.
Don't make me flag your YouTube channel.
You mean the Boulder King?
Boulder Man.
Rockman.
Boulder King.
Rockman is the Japanese name for Mega Man.
All
I
right.
think.
Matt is the quarry king.
Oh no.
All right, so you should see now on the stream, I swapped over to a live feed from Matt's and Brett's desks, and they should be showing off the physical copies of Changeling and Mythics. Now, I unfortunately, due to a mix-up in the mail, I have not received the print proofs for Adobe Kroger, but I probably will get that tomorrow. Like, I just didn't get it in time for the stream, but I wanted to share this with you and everyone else who's watching that we have the print proofs. And you can sort of see, there we have the Antonella variants on the right-hand side on Brett's screen, and on the left-hand side on Matt's screen. And do you guys have hands-free so you could like flip through the books, or?
Yep.
Give me a sec.
Does it come on good paper and like Marvel books? You know,
High gloss magazine paper, Dylan.
You know, the funny thing
Yes.
is that this is about a few seconds behind.
A few
It
seconds
is.
behind. Okay, well that's fine. It's a stream. There's going to be some bufferage.
There's Brett, there's a reason why I had it out.
Well, excuse me, I want to keep this thing in good condition, not because. Well, it's not for resale. It's just
It's the
It's
first
important to
copy.
me.
It's the first copy you've
It's
ever
like-
seen.
Yep.
it's precious. I want to put because ideally I want to get these things framed so that they can stay this
Good.
mint for as long as possible.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is,
Make sure they get plenty of sunlight.
Oh no. Gorgonite already started shoot some shots in the chat.
you know,
Ooh, I've still got this like potion bottle shaped vodka over here. Let me join you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the format that Mythics came in, Beth had formatted it in the traditional comic book format. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, what happened was
It is rather interesting to have that much empty space in the comic, though.
Yeah, the thing was the artwork was submitted like at the proper height, but it was narrower than what we needed. So I made it as tall as possible without distorting the artwork or cutting anything off. But yeah, so that's just something we'll need to address in the next edition. But there you go.
Well, do you know what that just means?
What's that?
That just means that first edition is probably going to be more expensive.
There you- yeah, you can have the
Limited edition.
you can have the border editions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm already making.
Oh God help!
changes.
Oh man, God help us if we start seeing copies of Mythics 1 going for sale on. Well, this version going for sale on eBay.
So, guy,
Oh, boy.
God help us if the comic collecting crowd picks up on it.
Yes, I made this mistake just for now.
Just imagine.
Oh, by the way, I just want to point out that the books on the pages will stick, but they'll go away.
It's
So-
yeah, they're stuck. Well, they stick together because it's static cling.
Yep.
It's harmless.
So, guy,
Okay.
show off the back cover real quick. So, if you look on the back cover, you'll notice a great big, friendly, gigantic, hard to miss QR code that has digital content over it with an exclamation point, which means I'm emphatically pointing out that there's digital content behind this QR code. Now, what that means is if you're missing your digital copy, all you gotta do is scan that with your phone. It'll take you right to the digital copy. You can download it.
I want to correct I
Yeah.
want to correct something. I'm a little mistake I made in my first impressions video. I thought that QR code went to the Discord. I was wrong.
Oh, well, we'll have that. We'll have that available on like other promotional materials. But for right now, I just wanted to make sure that anyone that bought the physical copies could have permanent access to the digital. And the reason I did that is go ahead and open when you guys open the books real quick. Like from the back.
I really wish there's a way to do that with like
Open it slowly.
with like physical games that you own and bought for, but
Yeah.
you can't put on like a laptop that doesn't have a C drive, so you're
Right.
just basically stuck with a useless disc, and you have to rebuy the game virtually.
We supposed to be doing something, Dan?
Oh yeah, I just
Helping the
I just wanted to show you that in the digital copies, there's a whole bunch of supplemental content like the pre-production work, the community artwork, and we left that out of the print copies to conserve our bottom line on the print costs. But they're all still there on the digital copy, which you can access at any time by using that QR code on the back. That's it.
I mean, some of them. I mean, if there's ever like a trade paperback in the future, maybe that might make it. But
yeah,
like that's so far. That is so far down the pipe. That's not even like on the table.
Yep.
I can see the future.
But yeah, so that's it. I wanted everyone to have a chance to see the physical copies. I'll have to show off mine a little bit later, I guess. But as you can see here, beautifully printed. The colors in Changeling probably aren't being done justice by the stream, but I'm willing to bet that they're extremely vivid and vibrant because they looked gorgeous on the digital, and I bet they look even better in print.
Oh yeah, they do. But yeah, they do.
Gorgonite is still
I'm also not gonna pretend
with the damn shots.
He's still tossing shade at no one in particular. All right.
Also, I'd like to point out, this is this page is like mostly black. What do you notice about this page? Or rather, what don't you notice?
Oh, there's no fluting. What do you know about that?
No
Oh
fluting.
my god.
Yeah.
And there's no damage either. What the?
Yeah, there's the corners aren't
What?
dinged up.
Jeez.
They were.
And I didn't. Oh, and I didn't. And there's no address on the back cover either.
How are we supposed to know who are supposed to get these about the information on the back?
Yeah. Well.
I mean, I would assume it'd be printed on the package.
Yeah.
So wait,
I mean, the
there's
mailer.
no
I
address
mean,
anywhere?
the mailer. I would assume it'd be printed on the mailer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it's and it's not a Gemini, but it's a pretty sturdy mailer.
Well, we're not going print USA.
So wait, there's like no address at all whatsoever on these things.
No, there's no
Why would we
address.
put
Wow.
no address, no water damage, no bent, no errors, no fluting, and no needless
no
filler.
text outside of text boxes.
That's interesting.
That's only if I'm doing the lettering.
Hey,
Who'd
Brett.
have thought?
Brett,
Yes.
are you filming this with your phone or a webcam?
My phone.
Okay. I was wondering if one of you could demonstrate the QR codes, but obviously you cannot. All right.
I don't think I could with the.
With the phone.
Good.
Okay. No big deal. Don't worry about that. I assure you they worked. We tested them. So.
And if it doesn't work, it'll take you. It'll still have the internet link.
Right, like if your
And-
phone can't read the PDF, you can still just go to the link and get it that way.
And if none of that works, y'all can just, DM me on Discord and give me your phone number, address, social security, and the magic 3 numbers behind your card.
Hey, Neostar, you missed the contest.
Yeah,
You'll
but
still get a $20 cash prize for just participating.
yep, all the runner-ups will get the $20 cash prize. All right.
The participation trophy.
I hate Jimmy. I hate him so much. All right, so grats, guys. How's it feel to have these books right there in front of you?
I'm
Not even-
unironic when I
not
am
even-
unironic.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Brett.
I am not being ironic when I say I am not getting a better Christmas present this year.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt?
Shame. It's just a great feeling to have such
I
high
just don't
quality
see
products.
I do not see how anything could top this.
Well, it's a good way to end the year, right? We're in December.
Well, I think we may have made someone's, two people's holiday, considering corporation says, not even an hour in, and we're already getting some stealing solo memes.
Ah, that's Justin.
And Gorgonite says, Brett thigh reveal, a true Christmas present.
Extra thick.
All right, guys.
The extra thick kilt.
Awesome. All right, guys. So that's the books. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap back over so you guys can can put your phones down, I guess.
Oh, good. Mine's starting to heat up.
All right.
Yeah, mine's okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
No problem.
thanks for sharing those.
And Gorgonite is right, Neo. You are getting $20 out of the contest.
That's right. I'm giving $20 all the runner-ups because I love all of them, and I want to make sure everyone knows I appreciate all the effort you put into it.
Irish, the other white meat.
As soon as you can get pricing and that digital shop available, just as an FYI, I'm going to be using my money to buy the first, however many ever people would cover, a copy of one of the comics of their choosing.
Nice, awesome. Paula Ritchie has to go out. Thanks for coming in, Paula, and congratulations on the contest. Glad that you could participate. All right, so that's very cool. So moving on to the next segment. Lots of great news. We revealed the books. We had the Christmas card contest, and but I did mention that not all the news is good, but it's still good because we learned from it. So this next segment, I'm just going to be talking briefly about. Yes, we are ending the year on a high note overall. Like, our books were all done, and we're going to be able to hopefully get them all out to everybody before the end of the year. But we didn't get here without making some strategic errors along the way.
The gray clouds to the silver lining.
Yes, exactly.
I thought it was a dark cloud with a silver lining.
Well, all's well that ends well, but we did make some mistakes along the way, and me particularly. I just want to go over those real quick for anyone that may have been curious to know how everything actually went behind the scenes. In the interest of full disclosure and hopefully helping other creators who may be launching their own campaigns at some point in the future. There are two big major takeaways that I got anyway from our work this year. Those being about where we went wrong and what we're going to do to avoid going wrong in the same ways next year. So let me stress before I go on that I take full responsibility for all this because I was the buck stops here guy in the Mythoverse. That was the role I elected to assume, given what was appropriate to each of us, given what we were able to accomplish, our predispositions and our resources. So any blame for the errors I'm about to talk about are mine and mine alone. Even though it may seem like I'm throwing shade, it's all on myself. So in terms of where we went wrong, from where I sit, I made 3 strategic errors. And 2 of them are kind of subsets of the main one. The main strategic error we made was running the Kickstarter for all 3 books on the same campaign. I don't recommend that anyone do this. It seemed like a very good idea because we wanted to avoid competing with one another.
Try and have the bundle strategy.
Yeah, and because we were all under the same branded umbrella, obviously, and that seemed like a good way to do it, to launch our brand all at once and to avoid stepping on each other's toes. But looking back, the decision to run the campaign all at once led to 2 issues which we could have avoided we could have avoided the pitfalls we faced and improved things for our backers and for ourselves if we had done it differently. So that the 2 things that were the big problem with running the campaign concurrently was the budget allocation and the fulfillment. So first, let's talk about the budget. So when we were planning the campaign, I took kind of like a hands-off approach because all 3 of these books are creator-owned, and Brett and Matt, their books are their babies. They had the last word as far as what was actually going into those books, and they developed the relationship with their teams, and I didn't want to interfere with those relationships because it's not really what I'm about. I'm not going to tell them how to relate to their artistic teams and what should be in their books. Their stories are theirs, and it wouldn't have been right if I had gotten more directly involved in that. My role was primarily to correct any technical problems, to help with the details and the back end stuff. With all that said, in terms of the budget, what we ended up with was a campaign that we intended to divide 3 ways. as evenly as we could. But our 3 books had very different budgetary needs because there was primarily a disparity in the lengths of the scripts. So the big thing that we can take away from all this is that about half the money we ended up raising went to 1 book because of its script length, and that was Changeling. Now, I wouldn't change anything about that, but because Brett's book was 36 pages long, it ended up needing a bit more of the money than Matt's or mine. In fact, Matt, did I not hear you say that you had to actually trim your script to meet budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that ended up really going to your book's detriment because you had to really like change things around, and you weren't able to do everything that you wanted to do. And when I heard that, that made me a little bit sad. I mean, overall, I was pleased with what you were able to complete, but had I known like ahead of time that you were trimming like your script drastically, I probably would have helped out there. So,
well, it's my fault anyway because I should have been more. I paid more attention to the dialogue and the editing. I'd rather have it be a flawed product though if it meant that you or Brett could have a better product.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, but we all
Dude.
we all win if all the books are as good as they can be. So if there is an issue in future, please let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you should. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna have to disagree with you. Just there, Matt. I don't think you should sacrifice your book on the altar just to make everyone else's better.
It helped us gain a relationship with a reviewer, as well as positive optics on how we take criticism. So it's a win, honestly.
Well, okay, fine, but all the same, we're all in this together, and all of our books being as strong as they can be, will only strengthen our brand. So if there are issues like that in future, like please, don't hesitate to come to us and say that you have some concerns.
Oh, no problem. Although I think that since we're not doing the 3-for-1 Kickstarter again, we should be fine.
Right. Because I want to avoid situations like this where we end up having to split the money 3 ways, and not all of us needs the same amount of money.
I was going to ask after explained all the downsides of the thing if this meant we were no longer going to be doing the the bundle Kickstarters anymore.
Well,
probably not.
Probably not for this reason and for one other reason. Okay, so just to wrap up what I was saying about the budget, I don't think it's fair for either one of us, for all 3 of us, because we all had to share the work of running and promoting the campaign. To have an uneven amount of that the funds go to one book or the other, or to do what Matt did to trim his book down so that there'd be enough money for everybody else. That's something I should have addressed earlier before launching the campaign, that everyone would have as even a share as possible by making sure that we budgeted more strictly. Like we all were aware of what each page rate was for each of the books. They were different. So there wasn't going to be necessarily a way to make it perfectly even, but making sure that everyone's books was roughly the same length and making sure the stories were all coherent within those constraints would have gone a long way to making sure everyone got the money they needed. So it turned out how it did. But if there were any problems like what Matt ran into, I'm more than happy to make sure that the books are as good as they can be. So I got the resources, I got the ability. So don't hesitate to ask. If I can't make it work, then we'll work something else out. But I'd rather we nip that in the bud. So okay, moving on from that. The other issue was, as I mentioned earlier, was fulfillment. Now, the second problem with running a bundled campaign we had 3 different writers, 3 different art teams, and they were spread out all over the world. Like Leandro's in the Philippines, Victor's in Mexico, Ginger Foxy is she in Russia?
She's in the UK.
She's in the UK. Okay, yeah, but okay, yeah. So all these different time zones. So we have all these communication gaps and all these things that we have to juggle to get these deadlines met. The thing that kind of got us, which has caused our books to be delayed, was that we budgeted to fulfill all the books at once to preserve our bottom line in a single media mail package. So what this ended up was causing a situation where all three teams all had the same deadline. So initially we had plenty of time. We gave ourselves like several months, and given the rate of work we saw from our artists, it seemed perfectly reasonable that we would all be done on time and at least to deliver the digital books. Now, Adobe Kroger was finished on time. Mythics came right after, but we had an issue with Changeling because of kind of a miscommunication on prior commitments. Now, what's that mean? Well, long story short, this is an issue I should have nipped in the bud earlier, and then this is all on me. I knew that Ginger, the colorist, committed to coloring a different project, Sporkman, which I love, and I want Chuck's book to look awesome, and Ginger was just right for the job. What I didn't know, and I should have made myself aware of, was that she had committed to color 90 pages. I didn't know there was that many. Which by any reasonable estimation would never be finished in time for her to meet both deadlines. Now, in fairness, the issue that we had was Sporkman finished first. So by rights, maybe she should have completed that project first. But she did commit to coloring Changeling first. And Changeling was a much shorter project. So we ended up in this situation where it's like, okay, we're both going to be terribly late, or Changeling will be a little bit late and Sporkman just a little bit more late. But if we had said go finish Sporkman then get back to Changeling, she'd probably still be working on Sporkman right now, and Changeling still wouldn't be done. So I really hated having that discussion with Chuck because we should have said, hey, wait a minute, this is too big a commitment for her to manage both at once. And it was a real learning experience for us and her. But what this ended up doing was, because we had committed to fulfill all three books at once, we were not able to fulfill until Changeling was complete. And because of this, it was delayed. So that's another snag when you're running a joint campaign. If you promise to fulfill all at once, this can happen. So that's another reason why we're probably not going to run the bundled campaign. But with all that said, we're avoiding all these issues next year since we aren't running the joint campaign, but the tentative plan now that we've been discussing is to run them one at a time, like we probably should have done this time. But we were learning, we were experimenting. We thought it'd be a good way to launch the collected brand because it was a shared universe. And we wanted to emphasize that. And the fact that we were all combining, like our relative marketing efforts and our relative, fan bases, it worked. We got funded, but there were just these problems that came up from having to do everything concurrently that we probably wouldn't have run into if we were doing them separately. So for next year, we're going to run campaigns one at a time. Right now, the plan is for Matt to go first, and then Brett, and then me possibly. We'll see how it goes. But that's how we plan to do things differently. Like, we're still going to run the campaigns to get the production ramped up, but we're just going to do a little bit differently next year to avoid these issues. Make sure that our backers can get fulfilled on time, like regardless of what happens with any other project that we might be running, and B, the artists don't have to worry about over or under allocating. We'll get the budget that they can expect, and it'll all go to the one book. So the Kickstarter campaign this year was fine to lay the groundwork. The problem is, how do we plan to keep this machine running steadily in the future? And that goes straight on into the next topic. We had 8 creative people we had to pay with our Kickstarter money between our books. For Adobe Kroger, we had Leandro Panganaban, Brett Smith, Eric Weathers, and Bob Stone. For Mythics, we had Beth Varney. For Changeling, we had Victor Campen, Ginger Foxy, and Zero Fox designed the logo. Correct, Brett?
He did.
Okay, so there's 3 creative people on that one. Bethby was a 1-person show on Mythics, and I had a fairly expensive team on Adobe Kroger because that's what I chose to work with. So, and on top of that, we have all the additional content like Mythochibis and all the other commissions that we're using to enrich and expand the universe. So, and then we're planning on making games. Like remember when we commissioned Raven to do some artwork for a dating sim? That's still on the table. I still want to do that. But all that, yeah, all of that in addition to the fact that we want to avoid releasing 1 book a year. We don't want to be those guys. We don't want to say, here's issue 1. Come see issue 2 next December. We want to keep up the hype. We want to keep up the excitement, and you want to keep everyone engaged. So we need to get the Mythoverse books on a steady release schedule to maintain that interest and hype. So how can we do that without solely relying on an occasional infusion of cash every couple months? That's not a good way to keep momentum up. So we need to keep our artists constantly producing and busy and engaged. So how do we plan to do that? Well, there are 3 pillars to it that we're going to discuss really quickly. The first one, I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. Okay. Give the stream a couple of seconds to catch up, but what I'm going to show on the screen here, the first and primary pillar that will help support the Mythoverse going forward is the Wicked Publishing Store. Now, this is where our books will be available as soon as we're done fulfilling the physical copies to all the backers of the Kickstarter. So if you missed out on the campaign, or if someone else might be interested in checking out the Mythoverse and they missed the campaign, point them to the Wicked Store. This is where the books will be made available here. Every time you purchase a book on the Wicked Store, we get a little bit of support. Wicked gets a little bit of support. The word gets spread, and this is the best way to keep us going. Spread the word about the books, that sort of thing. And if you need a link to the store itself, it's at squareup.com/store/Wicked Publishing. I'll drop a link to that in the chat right now. Okay, so this is the primary one. This is where our books will be for sale. Now, secondly, we have the Mythoverse Patreon and the Subscribe Star. This is the second pillar. Now, this right now, it's a very, very simple $1 a month subscription to just show your support. And we have about 20 patrons so far, and some of which are being very generous and are donating more than the minimum amount, which I'm very grateful. But the way that we intend to beef this up is the Patreon will be converted into a new exclusive content subscription service. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we have several things nearly ready to launch. But the main thing will be that the Patreon will be a place that for like a very small pledge each month, like $1, maybe at most $5, you'll get access to brand new mini audiobooks and other audio content. The first of which is the complete edition of My Friend Page, narrated by Lenore King. Now, there's a sample to that story on YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to that in the chat. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, it's a neat little slice of life sort of sitcom story set in 1983 about a girl named Bethy and her brilliant friend Paige, and their little slice of life adventures. And Lenore does and Lenore does an incredible job narrating it. And she's the full version of that will be about 15 to 20 minutes, I think. But you can listen to the first couple minutes of that in the chat. So Neostar says Patreon subscription sounds doable. Yep, and we're just getting started there. The audio content, like there'll be short stories, and there'll also be, if you haven't checked out Narratus Mythologica yet, which are short stories specifically based in the Mythoverse, all further editions of Narratus Mythologica will be on the Patreon exclusively. So there's the sample will remain up there on YouTube for free. But if you want to hear more, yeah, just drop us a quick subscription. It won't be much, and you'll get exclusive access to that. Now, in terms of the audiobooks, my plan is to have a new short audiobook every month available for that entire month to subscription. to subscribers, and thereafter it will go onto a digital download place that I will show you in just a moment. But it'll be much cheaper on the Patreon. It'll be a little bit more expensive if you want to download it after the subscription expires. So, in addition to that audio content, the Patreon will be opening up some premium tiers that will give you access to variant cover prints of the Mythoverse titles. I have several variant covers all set to go from Troy, aka Mr. Marvel, may he rest in peace on Twitter, and a few others. If you're following me on Twitter,
rest in feet.
Rest in feet. Yeah, so if you follow me on Twitter, my avatar is a small little piece of his variant cover. So, and he's doing one for Changeling, and he will do one for Mythics as well. So there'll be a set that will join together, just like Antonella's variant. And that will be available to subscribers at a premium level that we will announce early next year. So there's Patreon, and if you don't like Patreon, we also have the Subscribe Star, which will have all the same features. So if you don't want to support Patreon, I'm going to put all the same tiers and all the same access on the Subscribe Star, and you can support there if you choose. But it's going to be inexpensive, and you're going to get fresh content only on these two sites, both related to the Mythoverse and not. So that's a really great way to make sure that we can go on paying our artists. We're not just asking for money, we're giving you some real value in return. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, so last but not least is the big one. This is what I've been working on for the past couple of weekends, and it is mythomerch.com. I'm going to put that into the chat. Put that into the chat right now. Okay. Merchandising.
No,
The Mytho flamethrower. Great with kids.
The children love this one.
The kids love this one. So if you go to
Mythoverse cereal, Mythoverse the t-shirt,
Mythoverse
the lunchbox.
That one already. The t-shirts actually already exist.
Adobe body pillow.
It's actually yes.
I'll be seeing you again in Mythoverse 2, the search for more money.
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but Sashi has me in queue for an Adobe waifu pillow.
What?
Yes, she does. It's just she's so busy right now. She said maybe by the end of December she might have time to get to it. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes next year if she has time to get to it. If not, then I'm a liar. But she is ready.
Disclaimer: not responsible for all your Guinnesses going.
Yeah. Yep. She said she's interested. She just doesn't have time right now. So maybe in a couple weeks.
Justin's asking how much to make the body pillow release tomorrow. Answer.
I don't know.
The answer is somehow make it possible for Sashi to blow through all her other commissions. Which is faster.
Yeah.
Can I ask the same question but with Althea?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all a matter of when she has time, because she's not only working on commissions, but she's doing like
Can I get one with Maeve's mom?
She still does.
Oh, you need one of Maeve's mom holding a carton of strawberry quick.
She also, if I remember correctly, I mean, like, it's not just all the other commissions she has, it's also she still does the artwork for Nurkish's channel, doesn't she?
I was about to say that, yes. She does all the artwork for Nurkish's channel, and he has been putting out a couple of videos here and there that...
Can we get one of Maeve's mom with the tired look, but it makes it look like she's tired about me?
Yes, Neostar, an Adobe body pillow, if Sashi can get to it. If not, then I will let you know what the situation is. But that is something that I have been speaking with her about. Anyway, so Mytho merch. So anyway, if you look here, it's your one-stop shop for all Mythoverse swag. Okay, it's a fully developed storefront. Right here we have.
Is that a Maeve Christmas stocking?
That is a Maeve Christmas stocking, a Maeve Christmas tree skirt that goes around your tree. There's also one of the Mythoverse logo, a Christmas tree skirt, Maeve ornaments, a puzzle, metal and ceramic ornaments. Now, this is all just the holiday themed stuff that we're currently offering on the Mytho merch store. And if you go down here, there's a link to read the comics. And this button will take you directly to the Wicked Publishing store. When the books are there, you just click that button and go to buy the comics.
You know what would be a great idea?
What's that?
Maeve the cat plushie.
Plushies. Oh my! I would love to do that. It's just a matter of producing them efficiently.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're pretty hard to do.
Where's boss? Where's my money, boss?
So, real quick, I'm just gonna browse through the catalog.
I need to buy things for review, boss.
Well, I'm just gonna browse through the catalog so you can get an idea of.
Well, Justin, you should probably take that up with Smug.
All right.
And apparently, corporation agrees with the Maeve cat plushie.
All right, so if you go to the catalog here, we have all these different categories, and they're all prepared and ready for purchase. So I'll just start at the accessories, give you a quick look at that. So this is jewelry and little wearable things, like the Acolyte Sentinel 3rd Class, which is Adobe Kroger's official rank within the Order of Carolyn Jean Cross, and that's her emblem. You can get that on a dog tag or a button. You can get the Mythoverse tree on a button, a necklace, a dog tag. And this one I really like, the Mythoverse Metal Magnet Chibi Pack. For $10, you just get 4 little magnets with the Mythoverse tree in each of the chibi ladies.
I'm going to be joining the military soon, and one of the things I want to buy with some of my first official paychecks is getting a 3D printer and start making figurines.
Yeah, I just got one of those, and that's what I plan to be doing with them too.
Oh god, that'd be great.
Yeah. So
I came up with some things that I designed around them being like 3D models. Remember those? Crap, what was it? It was one with Maven to pajamas, Adobe with the banjo, Elthian like post-workout clothes.
Stop, Dan! I don't have money to buy all this right now. I want it all.
What? Do you want this Adobe Kroger Crusader hoodie? Yeah, I like that too. Or how about this Maeve smiley shirt?
Yeah, would you like this half-eaten sandwich?
I can wear the jacket while crusading against my fellow heathens.
Hey man, there's also the Mythoverse logo tee that has a nice crisp Mythoverse tree design on there.
I think I definitely want to get the dog tag with the tree logo on it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool on my 3 dogs.
If you want a towel,
I also still can't wait to get my cat jacket, cat hoodie.
Yep, there's only a couple more left that we have to do, and we'll get those out as ASAP. Sorry about the delay there.
That's no problem. A lot of the stuff I donated to has some delayed products. I'm perfectly fine. Just come in when they can. Okay,
no worries. All right, so if you want a mug, we got Acolyte Sentinel 3rd Class mugs. We got Chibi Adobe mugs. We got all these different designs here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they're all amazingly cool. If you have a phone that you want to put a case on, there's I think 42 different cases for design. So if you have a phone, it'll more than likely be covered by one of these styles here. We got the tree and the cover art from all 3 of the books available there. If you want to put together some puzzles, we got all these different
phone cases
and puzzles right here. And this one I'm really happy with is the wall art. These are high quality wall scrolls, and this is the one I'm really probably just going to order for myself, is this Adobe Wick cosplay, which is this utterly badass drawing by Leandro and this new colorist that's an associate of his that I just started working with.
We have like Adobe with John Wick, Althea with no, it's not Althea. It's a is it Althea or is it Adobe with what's his
John Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine. I
Yep.
think it's healthy.
That's all.
It's healthy. Yep.
Yep.
We're gonna have Maeve
Buffy.
cosplays. Huh?
Buffy.
Buffy. Nice.
Yep. So you can get.
I mean, it's easy. It's easy. Either give her a wood, put her in a mini skirt, or either give her a wooden stake or Buffy's Slayer scythe.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So here's a wall scroll of the Changeling cover art, and it comes in all these different sizes and aspect ratios. So yeah, so this is mythomerch.com. We'll put a link to this on mythoversecomics.com after the stream.
That is still one of my favorite comic covers I've seen. Just the fact how her image is distorted with the different fractals of the mirror.
Yeah,
so good.
It's a really
nice
cool concept. It's a very cool concept, and it's thematically very powerful because she's obviously very shattered, and you can see the duality of her nature there in the different parts of the mirror. Like you see parts of her.
One person who gave us a review, Oz Chris, I think it's his name. He even though he wasn't that big of a fan of the book itself, but he did like the cover.
Yeah. And apparently, Neo says in regards to John Wick, Adobe, they broke her banjo, she'll break their bones.
Nice.
And I guess instead of killing his dog, it's destroying her banjo.
Well, why would you do that?
Well, she technically already got attempted. She already attempted that. She already attempted that in Mytho Chibi's, but failed.
I am become Nemesis.
Yeah, I love that series because there's a reference to American Psycho when she finally gets back. It's like, I was returning some DVDs. We stream everything, not this one.
Yeah, it was so funny. It's just like, and her whole plan was foiled by a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, cancer sticks that were killing her saved her.
What we need is Adobe playing her banjo horribly while John Arbuckle is on his accordion.
Oh God.
I don't think the universe could take that. Clarinet.
It's Squidward on his clarinet. Let's create the horrible band. Let's go.
That would probably cause reality to collapse.
This universe needs an official Gorefield. Have you ever seen those videos?
Yeah.
Freaking love those by Lumpy Touch. These videos are freaking awesome.
The unholy trinity. Adobe banjo, Arbuckle, accordion, Squidward clarinet.
Nice.
Can we also get Patrick with the mayonnaise?
Oh man. Well, anyways, there's that's how we're going to plan to move forward in 2020 with the Patreon subscribe store, the Mytho merch store, and the Wicked Publishing store. Our goal is to get a steady stream of income so that we can keep paying our artists steadily rather than all at once every couple of months with a campaign. So the more that we can plan with steady income, the more we can keep these books coming. So by all means, please consider either subscribing. You'll get some great audiobooks, short audiobooks. You'll get variant covers, and there's always the Mytho merch store. So thank you for listening to that very long-winded spiel summarizing last year and our plans for next year. All in all, though, it's been a very, very good year. That's why I wanted to show the print books first, because that was our goal, and we're there. We got it. Hopefully I'll get mine tomorrow, and you can rest assured I will show off that as soon as I do. And once those are approved, I just send the quantities off to Wicked, and they get them printed, and then I forward the fulfillment information, and off they go, and it's all in their hands at that point. So, and then shortly thereafter, hopefully before the end of the month, you can buy them on Wicked Store, and there we go. There's our year. So thanks everyone for joining us on this crazy adventure. It's been fun. Anyway.
I just thought of a fourth member for the Band of Horrible.
Oh no, what's that?
Bender with his bluegrass singing.
Bite my glorious golden
Yeah,
ass.
nah, it's not bluegrass, it's folk singing.
Folk singing. Same shit.
There's a difference between bluegrass and folk music.
Yeah, well, it's all in the rhythm. Like, bluegrass has the same rhythm as reggae, just at a higher tempo. Like, the emphasis is on the 2 and the 4 instead of the 1 and the 3. And that's bluegrass. They just have that chop rhythm. All right, so what should I play tonight?
Folk is has a very relaxed rhythm, usually.
Yeah, it depends on who's singing it.
Definitely not with Bender.
Well, he's a robot. You wouldn't expect him to be able to sing.
Well, he's the only robot with. Well, is it really spoilers if I were to say it? Is it really?
On about a 10-year-old animated sitcom that's been canceled.
Yeah.
Numerous times.
And like, but Bender's like the only. Which I never really understood at this point. He's supposedly the only robot with emotions, yet every robot seems to have emotions.
I think that's the gag.
Yeah.
I think it. Actually, if I had to guess, it was probably something they came up with in the first episode because he broke his programming, and then they just forgot about it.
But it's like the only one with the chip that has emotions on it. None of the other robots do, but they all act like they actually have emotions.
Wait, was that actually in an episode once?
Yeah, that was like towards the end. They actually
that makes sense. I think like the last couple seasons of Futurama, they weren't all that good.
Yeah, Professor Farnsworth had said that he gave Bender a chip that allowed him to have emotions.
Oh, like Data.
It's just, well, not just that.
Good
well, the problem
news,
is just that.
Good?
Well, the problem that it presents is like it's not consistent with the rest of with what's already been established. Like I know Futurama had a loose relationship with continuity, but I mean, come on, it's like no one looked at that script and say, haven't we written robots with pretty much all the robots on this show with emotion so far?
Yeah.
How does this make Bender any different?
Yeah, it's weird. Corporation, what are you talking about? Futurama didn't end; it's still ongoing. Never mind.
Oh yeah, he's right. That last episode. There was that last episode.
It's just, yeah, but the joke is that it's in a time loop.
Yep,
So it's always ongoing.
So it never really ends.
It never ends.
Oh god.
Technically speaking, it never ends.
All right, we're in the second hour, so I'm just gonna fire up a relaxing game that I can just sort of ignore.
Alright.
So it's gonna be World of Warships because I don't have to pay much attention to that. It's kind of like a little Zen garden.
You know, that reminds me, because of my laptop being broken, a friend of mine has been trying to come up with workarounds for us to, hang out and play games online with each other.
Sure.
And we recently figured out that I don't need to own Tabletop Simulator to play Tabletop Simulator with them.
Mm.
And so we've been messing around with that, and he's like an unapologetic, unhygienic weeb, right? And guess what we wound up playing?
Do I want to know?
Who here knows about the anime Can Cold? It's
Not off the top of my head.
It's one of the ship waifus anime.
Oh.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's one of the waifus about the ship waifus.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's actually a tabletop game and Tabletop Simulator for it, and we played like a little one-shot of it. It's actually not that bad. The problem with that is that it's like a mix of resource management, naval strategy, and dating simulator.
That's an odd combination.
It is a very odd combination, but it is somehow still fun.
Japan, go home, you're drunk.
And the whole thing is operated basically on nothing but D6s. You just stack up a crap ton of D6s.
Nice.
You know what else is a D6? Mech Warrior.
Yeah. Oh, he also has Mech Warrior stuff on his thing too. the thing is we didn't play that because he hasn't learned Mech Warrior. The only game on Tabletop Simulator he has that he does know how to play was the Can Cold one, so he just pulled that up so he can teach me how to play it.
No, wait, we are talking about Mech Warrior, not BattleTech, because even though they're in the same universe, they're two different games.
Oh, well, his
BattleTech is Mech Warrior's the RPG. BattleTech is the war game.
No, Neostar. It's not the anime where people love boats. It's the one where the people are the boats, or technically
Is there
the
much
boats.
of a difference?
Or technically, the boats are the people.
There's a difference.
Technically, schoolgirls. And I am not kidding. It's literally like the spirit of ships inside of schoolgirls. Like,
Oh God.
like Yamato, Iowa, Bismarck.
I am, there was one time I was perusing
Is the
a,
Bismarck male?
Huh?
no.
No.
What do
Then
you
it's not
think?
accurate.
Boats are all female, dude.
Yeah.
No, the Bismarck was always referred to as a he.
Oh, it was. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It's probably the only one. And all the others
Okay.
are always like.
Nah.
No.
Okay.
There was like Prince something that was also German.
Prince
All right,
Eugen?
there was this
Yeah.
this one time I came across an anime called Kaiju Girls, where it took a bunch of Ultraman kaijus and made them into schoolgirls.
I'm not surprised. I mean,
I-
there is literally a mobile game where guns are girls.
I'm just all I can say is I'm surprised
Girls
they have.
Frontline?
I am
Girls
surprised
Frontline,
no one's managed. I'm just surprised no one's done. Well, I guess I'll say this is a blessing in disguise that no one has just had the idea to make a kaiju girl anime based off Godzilla kaiju. I'm not sure the world is ready for that.
I mean, we've already got artists making artwork of waifu Godzilla kaiju. I
Yes.
definitely know for sure there's already Godzilla and Ghidorah.
Yes, I've seen it. I have seen it. I
You
hate that I
need
don't
to
hate it.
change them into girls to make them.
I didn't. I've seen that artwork. I like it, and I hate that.
You hate that you enjoy it.
It's good.
Though, considering how the whole Nessa thing went down, I'm not sure I'm ready for waifu Kong.
Oh God.
Waifu Kong seems like a meltdown waiting to happen.
Okay, you guys want to hear a funny anecdote regarding the first King Kong vs. Godzilla movie?
I've watched it.
This is in relation to its production, and I swear to God, this is 100% true.
The editor-in-chief's mustache was the best actor in that movie.
So this is 100% true. Okay, so to establish some context. Who also is aware of a much more obscure Toho movie called Varan the Unbelievable?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Vaguely.
Okay, so when Varan was released, well, it became a little controversial as years went on, because of some let's call it less than politically correct depictions of the Anu.
The native Japanese.
Does anyone know?
Yeah, they're Japanese.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure native Japanese. They're like a I'm not really all that knowledgeable about the Anu. I just know that they're
the Anu
sort of
are
like
to Japan.
they're sort of like the
The
Native Americans to the Japanese or something.
Yeah, that's a good. That works.
Is,
Yeah.
The Japanese mostly have black hair, dark brown eyes. It's because of the Han Chinese.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah. So there's some less than politically correct depictions of the Anu people in there. Well, production for King Kong vs. Godzilla rolls around, and there's a whole part that takes place on an island.
That basically takes even more stabs at the Anu.
Nope. They decided, okay, how do we avoid looking like we're being racist towards the Anu? Let's take a bunch of Japanese actors and put them in blackface.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a thing about that. Yeah.
To answer your question, Neostar, you are not missing anything by not watching Varen because it is shamelessly rehashing the plots to the first Godzilla movie and Rodan.
Rodan was so good though. I'm not sure if I said it on stream before, but I appreciate how they sort of incorporated Rodan's movie into his character for King of the Monsters. Like how
Well,
he came out of a volcano being a lava monster.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
He dies in.
Yeah, he killed himself because humans killed his mate.
Yeah, he dies in a volcanic eruption.
Like the volcano exploded, that like basically fried his babies, and then the humans killed his mate. So then, out of sorrow, he just dives like head first into the volcano.
Yep.
It's freaking depressing, man.
Okay, so we're done streaming, right?
No, we're not.
No,
we're still live. We're just chilling.
Yeah, we're just chilling. Second hour is just me playing a game, and then whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, that was the thing. They wanted to avoid looking like they being racist to one group, so they decided to go to different. It's Japan.
Japan
don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They probably never expected that those movies would ever get. Well, they probably never expected it to get outside of Japan. Maybe, I don't know. Who cares? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Little did they know how many things they made become popularized overseas.
There's a thing though. I mean, like with Evangelion, I think one of the people on the production team, the production staff, actually said that had they known it would have been popular outside of Japan, they never would have used all the Christian symbolism in it.
That's not about right.
Christianity was the first major religion in Zelda.
Yeah, they just threw all that Christian iconography and shit in because they thought it looked cool.
That's because it does.
Oh yeah, I heard that somewhere. I believe I heard that when I was watching Bennett the Sage.
Yep.
You want to know where Christian iconography is like amazingly badass?
Warhammer.
Well, there's that, but there's also that side-scroller platformer, Blasphemous. Though that's specifically Spanish Catholicism.
Was this game set during the Spanish Inquisition?
Oh no, it's in a completely like fantasy realm. It is like a fantasy religion, but it is heavily inspired by old like classic Spanish Catholicism, and it is disgustingly badass and beautiful.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of Catholic cathedrals are. I mean, even if you're not Christian, you can at least appreciate their aesthetic beauty.
Like right now, if you want to see what I'm talking about, just look up Blasphemous video game. And just look at images.
We all know the most badass Christian movie is Passion of the Christ too. Remember that skit from Family Guy?
Well, it is a pretty intense fucking movie. I saw that movie when I was 12 years old. My dad took me to it.
No,
yeah, I saw it in theaters too. I enjoyed it.
Passion of the Christ 2. Okay, I don't think any of you have ever seen that Family Guy skit.
I thought
let's say we've all seen that episode.
I just can't remember it too well.
It's the episode where Peter and Lois are having trouble with their marriage, and so they decide to go on a second honeymoon to try and recapture their spark.
Right.
They end up at Mel staying at a hotel room that Mel Gibson almost never uses.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Right.
Yeah, Star Jim Caviezel and Chris Tucker.
Well, Jim
Hey.
Caviezel was in the first Passion of the Christ movie, I think.
Yep, but the
He
sequel.
was also in a New Testament audio adaptation and a few other Christian movies where he played Jesus as well.
What has that guy done since then?
He's played Jesus multiple times.
We
Count of Monte Cristo.
we need a Bible ASMR. This is the sound of nails hitting.
Oh no! Too soon. Too soon.
Speaking of blasphemous, I don't think he's gonna go through with this, but I remember pitching this to Brian as an idea for another Christmas Regs piece. It would be Regina and Operator protecting baby Jesus from zombies. And he said, sounds blasphemous, but I might try.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, isn't Jesus a zombie?
No, he is a revenant.
He's a revenant.
Oh shit, he is, huh?
He's a revenant. I love it.
You guys are like, this is blasphemous. I'm like, I'm an atheist. I don't care.
It might be. It might. Although it might be
Jewish
very.
revenant.
Somehow I get the. I have to wonder though if Brian actually went through that. Would they be Roman centurion zombies?
Oh God.
I mean, wasn't there like a version or two of the resurrection where zombies did actually come out of the ground?
That would not surprise me if if someone made a movie out of that. It sounds like so.
Because I could have sworn that was at least in one version of the Bible.
Cause it's terror time again.
Oh no!
Doesn't...
I freaking love it.
Now I think Gorgonite, you better stop, otherwise you are probably gonna get it. You are probably gonna get us canceled.
Juvenile.
Huh?
Oh god, that's beautiful. Oh. Oh god.
No, okay. So since it's, I guess it's a segue into Jesus. I mean, I got nothing other except like best Christmas movie, which I know all you are gonna say Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Home Alone, because
Yeah,
I'm not going to go by what you predict.
Yeah, we could probably watch Home Alone. After all, it's not all too often you get to see an actor become a president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's the
Home Alone
second
2,
one.
yeah.
Hold up. That would be the second time because Ronald Reagan was an
Ronald Reagan.
actor.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's only ever been twice.
For President's Day, we should watch all the WWE episodes that star Donald Trump.
That way should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely say out of Home Alone, that is definitely probably my favorite Christmas movie. I mean, is there anyone here who does not like Home Alone?
Home Alone's pretty alright. Home Alone 2 was also pretty good.
Yeah. The sequels were terrible after that.
Yeah. After that.
Yeah, that's all my nephew have seen.
Yeah, sorry. It's not Home Alone without Macaulay Culkin. I think that's a fact.
Actually, I'm kind of curious about something. Wasn't there a Hellraiser movie that took place during Christmas?
What?
Because I could have sworn there was a Hellraiser movie that took place during Christmas.
I don't.
Hellraiser Resurrection came out for Christmas.
We all know the most accurate version of Hellraiser was the porn parody.
Please no.
Well, because Hellraiser, because Pinhead was originally a woman.
Can,
That
can
is
you
true.
really can you really make a porn parody of Hellraiser where it's already pretty much porn?
Yeah.
Well, they don't show. I saw the first two Hellraisers. There was no sex in that. Heavy sexual themes, but you never saw people fucking.
Yeah, I've watched the porn parody.
My favorite Christmas movie is Predator.
Then. Oh my... Now, speaking of a bad Christmas movie, that's gonna be out pretty soon. Anyone catch wind of that Black Christmas remake?
Yeah, I heard that the director described it as a fierce feminist movie.
What?
That's not it. Oh, if that ain't the kiss of death on it, you know what is? It's a slasher movie that is rated PG-13.
Oh yeah, there's also that. Like what the hell? Like, come on. Like R-rated.
I want to. Can anyone name a single horror movie that was rated PG-13 and actually good?
Let me do a quick search real quick. PG-13 horror movies.
Because when I hear PG-13 and horror, the only thing that comes to mind is you fucking neutered this.
A Quiet Place. Ooh, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is PG-13. I still need to see that, but I could be so down for that.
I
I
enjoyed A Quiet
I also
Place.
remember Babadook was PG-13.
Happy Death Day, Mama, Lights Out, Insidious, Drag Me to Hell, The Woman in Black, Escape Room, The Last Exorcism, 1408, Truth or Dare, Final Girls, Insidious Chapter 2, The Ring, The Others, The Sixth Sense, Ouija, Origin of Evil, The Visit, Split, More Exorcism and Insidious, World War Z, Dark Skies, The Uninvited, Cloverfield, The Possession, Mothman Prophecies, Devil, Arachnophobia, Skeleton King, Monster Squad, The Haunting of Connecticut.
Like Monster Squad is not a horror movie.
That's adventure comedy.
I have no idea why that's even there. The Gate, One Missed Call, When a Stranger Calls, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That is not a horror movie either.
The Grudge
That's a
2.
comedy.
Yeah, that movie scared the shit out of my sister when she was a kid.
What, Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yes, that made her like deathly afraid of clowns. Like
that's great.
She's still afraid of clowns.
But Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a comedy.
She saw it when she was little.
Yeah, I was a kid. When you watch things as a kid, you get different.
Poltergeist 2, Critters, Lady in White.
Critters is it's one of those so bad it's good movies, I think.
Right. But there's a few others. I mean, say what you want about Shamalama Ding Dong, but The Sixth Sense was actually pretty good.
And I love The Quiet Place because it actually depicted a competent, loving father.
Yeah, but there's still some issues. Well, I don't know every single one of them, but I definitely do know that the waterfall one put major problems to the plot.
Yeah, there was that.
Is that it is PG-13 and horror. They don't really mesh. I mean, you get exceptions. Like I heard Babadook was good, and that's PG-13. But then again, I wouldn't say
apparently Krampus is PG-13.
Is that the Krampus? Is that the Mike Doherty Krampus?
I believe so.
It's in comedy horror for some reason.
Oh, then I get why.
Which one is this? Oh, this is one that came out in 2015.
Also, no, Gargonite, we can't kill PG-13 because there are some movies for whom that is actually justified. I mean, you definitely would not rate any of those Marvel movies PG.
I think a lot of the stuff got bundled all together because I went to more movies and now there's actually like different genres. Like there's horror, PG-13 dramas, comedy horror, horror mystery. Mm-hmm. So I think they're all kind of lumped together. So some of the comedy horrors might have gotten mixed together.
It's just I don't know. It's just you can like I said, there's exceptions, but rule of thumb is a horror movie should get an R rating.
Devil.
If
Isn't that
it
the
ain't
one?
hard, you didn't try hard enough.
Isn't Devil the one where it was the people that was stuck in the elevator? They had to figure out which one was the devil.
Oh right, yeah. I remember that one.
I'm surprised that one isn't a comedy, considering the whole butter side up thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, I remember the butter side
yeah,
up.
I remember
scene.
thinking this. Has to
Jelly
be
side
comedy.
down.
Jelly side down. Yeah. You can tell the devil's nearby when the bread falls jelly side down.
You know what other movie I can't tell if it's supposed to be a comedy or serious or what? The Fifth Element.
I don't think
Well, the Fifth Element is really it's inspired a lot by Franco-Belgian comics, so and they have a weird sense of humor.
We all know the best sci-fi movie is Pluto Nash.
Would y'all consider The Covenant to be a horror movie?
I didn't even see that one.
Because I don't remember The Covenant being particularly horror-esque. It was more like a supernatural drama.
Probably not. Ah, fuck! I forgot. I think I know which one we're talking about.
It's the one where the teenage guys got like all the superpowers. I don't know what Ghost Rider is doing here.
Ghost Rider is definitely not. Ghost Rider is definitely not a horror movie.
The Mummy, apparently.
I'm Nicolas Cage.
Is it the Brendan Fraser or Mummy? Because that one's more of a Pulp Fiction adventure movie.
Right.
I think the only part I was ever terrified with the Mummy was the one where you see the scarabs crawl underneath the guy's skin.
Yeah, that was gruesome.
Why is Scary Movie 3 in the horror movie about the supernatural and not in the comedy horror?
It's not even funny.
Except for when Leslie Nielsen's on there on screen.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is in horror movies about the supernatural.
It's not a. And Gargan, if you want to blame a movie for inventing PG-13, blame Red Dawn, because it was too violent for PG, but not graphic enough for R.
Always gotta thread that middle line. Actually, has anyone even seen The Woman in Black? Because I actually kind of like that movie.
I don't even know that. I don't even know about that movie at all.
We all know the best horror movie.
It's the one with Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter. Got the Harry Potter guy.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
We all know the best horror movie is The Nun.
I don't think I've even seen that.
Ooh, jump scare. Ooh. I remember when every year or so they would release another Annabelle movie.
Yeah.
I got so freaking sick of look, Annabelle, she's scary. Ooh.
All I'll say is, have you seen the real Annabelle doll? That thing is fucking terrifying.
You mean the Raggedy Ann doll?
Yep.
Well,
Y'all want to know one movie everyone always calls as horror that I refuse to acknowledge as horror?
What?
Saw.
That's more like gore.
It is purely purely torture porn.
I will say you're lucky Salem's not on the panel this week, because he'd have words with you.
There's nothing scary about it.
I'm gonna tweet this out.
Oh God.
Good, because I'm right.
Hey, I don't mind starting a flame war on Twitter over Saw.
It's not scary, it's just torture porn. It's suspenseful, but it's not scary. I'll talk mad shit about Saw all damn day. I was going there expecting to be scared, but I just got cringe.
Right.
You're just waiting for. All you're doing is waiting for our next gory scene, gory death.
Oh, I remember there was one time I was on the Kumite and they were talking about, I think they were talking about horror movies, and I typed into the chat, remember when Saw was the goriest movie ever? And then Tonka noticed it and he said, Saw is was not the goriest movie ever. Cannibal Holocaust came out 30 years before that.
Fucking Cannibal Holocaust. That's one hell of a movie.
Hey, that's a perfect Christmas movie to watch.
Cannibal Holocaust.
I'll say that. Oh, you want to know what was also fun? If anyone doesn't know this, Cannibal Holocaust is a movie that was so graphic that the director had to prove in court that he didn't kill his actors on screen.
Yeah. And it was also the first lost footage themed thing ever.
We can blame it for. Yeah, we can blame it for Blair Witch Project.
Hey, the first Blair Witch Project movie, I've heard it's good.
It's not that bad.
Okay, so
even Gorgonite agrees with me.
Okay, so Justin
and
says
we rarely agree on stuff.
Justin's bringing up guilty pleasure movies, and okay, Gorgonite says I unironically like the Super Mario Brothers movie, and
I freaking love that movie.
And Justin likes Van Helsing.
Okay. I've got a guilty pleasure movie. Oh boy.
I love both of those movies.
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat.
The live action Cat in the Hat movie.
Yeah.
I
don't consider it that much of a guilty pleasure because, as much as it's a bad movie, who played the cat?
Mike Myers.
Yeah, it's Mike Myers. Like, how you're not gonna like a movie he's in? He's always like if there's Mike Myers, there's going to be one thing you're gonna like, and it's going to be Mike Myers.
Son of a bitch! That scene was amazing.
Just Mike Myers being there, by virtue, makes it no longer a guilty pleasure because you're just watching it for Mike Myers.
Right.
But that makeup job is horrific.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Would y'all consider?
Oh my god, there is this.
I really do.
Would y'all consider Edward Scissorhands to be a horror movie?
No. I was gonna say, if we're talking about guilty pleasures, I like Batman and Robin.
I pretty much have the same guilty pleasure as everybody else. The Room.
Okay, so
everyone loves The Room.
The Room is great.
There's this movie I used to watch when I was a kid called Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Oh god, Baby Geniuses. I remember that.
They made a second one.
I've seen both.
Oh my god. That's... I remember loving it as a kid, and then I saw it as an adult. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I remember watching an old movie where these randos somehow got into a time machine and then they had to survive in the time of the dinosaurs, and I thought it was kind of scary because the stop motion dinosaurs were very disturbing.
Okay.
Whenever they tried to move.
So it's because of the second Baby Geniuses movies that I recognized Justin Chadwin in Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's great.
Oh my lord.
That's great.
He was in that movie too.
And he's I wonder why we've never heard of him since then.
Mr. Forehead Vein.
What about Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber on Fleet
Oh,
Street?
I freaking love that movie.
Would you consider that horror?
Horror musical, maybe, or maybe more of a thriller.
It's a bit of a slasher, slasher flick. Can we consider the later additions to the Pirates of the Caribbean films as horror movies in terms of production?
Well, they were horrific.
Are you wanna hear a horror movie? Neverending Story 3.
Oh God. I don't want to remember that one. Nobody wants to remember that one.
I'm hesitant to show my kids the first one because they may eventually discover that one.
Damn.
I freaking
Just tell them. Just tell them.
There was another time.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I showed it to my daughter and she loved it.
You know, if I ever show my
No.
kids, like, cartoons...
I'm totally not memeing in any way whatsoever. But what about Shrek 3?
I've actually heard Shrek. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Shrek 4.
Shrek 4 was pretty good. Shrek 3 though.
Yeah. You know,
that one had a lot of missteps.
Ugh, that's putting it lightly. Like outside of the spin-offs, like not counting any of those, Shrek 3 is like the only bad Shrek movie. All the other ones are actually good.
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to not even recognize Shrek 3 and count Shrek 4 as Shrek 3. To be perfectly honest.
There was that one time that one Shrek movie that had the McDonald's glasses, but the McDonald's glasses needed to be recalled because they had some toxic chemicals in them.
It is a good thing I don't know what it is about me, but I physically cannot deal with 3D.
Same.
Like every time I try to watch a 3D movie, I just get a migraine. Which sucked because my first date with a chick was going into a movie theater to watch Frozen in 3D, and I just had a huge ass migraine like halfway through the film.
Ah, tough break.
Yeah.
That might have just been Frozen.
I mean, it could have been just Frozen, but it's probably more the 3D.
Oh no, Rockstar Games changed their logo back on Facebook. Does this mean something?
Probably not.
No, like every time they like change like their logo for something like is gonna happen.
Ooh, I got a horror movie. How about Teeth?
Oh god.
I was waiting for that reaction. No one here knows what Teeth is?
I know of it.
Nah.
That's all I'm comfortable with. That's all I'm comfortable with. I am comfortable with just knowing Teeth exists.
God damn it, Neville. Get the hell out of here. I ain't watching it.
So apparently Clint Eastwood's Richard Jewell movie is threatened with a lawsuit.
Eh?
There's this movie that Clint Eastwood directed about this guy named Richard Jewell, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was this whole like thing that happened. I don't know much about it, but yeah, Clint Eastwood, like his movie's being slammed for being misogynistic, and I guess there's like lawsuits being thrown against it. Like Jesus Christ, you can't make a movie about anything anymore.
I found out not too long ago that Clint Eastwood is actually a Joe Bro.
A Joe Bro.
Yeah, he actually liked JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, it was mostly because Jotaro is actually based off of Clint Eastwood, and Clint actually liked Jotaro, and he actually met Araki and did Jotaro's pointing pose for him.
I have to look. I'm not even a huge JoJo fan, and I have to look this up.
It's pretty good.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Clint Eastwood is a Joe bro. It went full circle. Yeah.
Oh, he really did. Oh yeah, I think I've seen this.
Yeah.
He did the thing.
He did the iconic Jotaro pose.
Yeah, I know what he's. Oh, I know what he's talking about.
I'll post it.
Clint Eastwood is the perfect man. Changed my mind.
You know, we were actually talking about Clint Eastwood like earlier today, or was it yesterday? I don't know, because my mom was like watching Ellen and he was on there. She's like, I was surprised to hear that that he supports Trump because he doesn't seem like he hates gay people or anything. I'm like, oh.
Wow.
Mom,
Jeez.
That's. I'm sorry. Like, no dissing your mom, but that gets a face palm.
That is fake news I've ever heard any.
That is something that deserves a fucking face palm. It's like,
she just hates him like more than like she doesn't hate.
I'm not sure why people hate Trump. He's pretty meh, to be perfectly honest.
because they've been told to hate him.
Like, he's not that far out there, despite popular belief.
Yeah, but if you
It's just
actually
that-
watch like 1 second on the news, it makes it sound like he killed someone. Makes it sound like he ate someone's puppy.
You mean he didn't?
Now, come on, he's not Chinese.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh damn!
Demonetized.
Demonetized.
Yep.
Winnie the
Mas-
Pooh is not happy of you.
That's a
As
banning.
if we were. As if we were.
Well, there goes my social credit.
Also, we might have
You've
to.
been banned
Also, we
in
might have to
China.
revoke. We might have to revoke your wrench privileges, Dusk.
Oh.
It did.
it's the 10th Copa or whatever. We might get taken down.
I don't think we have to worry about COPPA. That FTC ain't got none.
Yep.
Were people just making a big deal out of that? Like,
I think they only made a big deal of it because the guy who was fronting for FTC was just a big talker. Like, there's literally no way at all whatsoever they can find content creators under COPPA. They'll probably find them under other stuff, but not with COPPA.
yeah, because I remember the whole big deal around net neutrality.
COPPA can legally and constitutionally only affect YouTube and Google. YouTube channels are safe.
Right. So yeah, I remember the whole thing around net neutrality, and then like the time came, and like what's the big deal? Nothing happened.
I mean, nothing really changed on the internet when net neutrality did become a thing, because I was alive before net neutrality. Internet didn't seem like much was different.
Right.
Actually, I think Dan's been on the internet since like back when it first started.
Yeah, I was on bulletin board systems.
when it took like 5 hours for an image to load.
Yeah, I remember
I was there for
downloading
that too.
downloading an image of shampoo from Rama 1/2 took 45 seconds.
I mean, one at that point, there wasn't really even any browsers. You had to connect to websites directly by IP.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, if you wanted an image, you had to trade it through IRC, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're about to wrap up here. We got 5 minutes, but I wanted to before I head off, you guys can go on chatting as long as you like. I'm just gonna cut the stream, but I wanted to show something off before I went because it's a perfect way to end it.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole theme of this show has been like, you know, reflecting on last year and planning for the future of the Mythoverse, and I wanted to provide a little bit of evidence that the Mythoverse is moving forward. And all right, up on screen I have a work in progress for the first page of Adobe Kroger Game Commander issue 2. Leandro.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop you something to. Keep going, Dan. I'm gonna drop you something.
No worries. Now this is incomplete. He wanted to have it done for tonight's stream, but I think it's complete enough to at least give everyone a preview if they happen to catch the stream. So.
And now the things to come.
The things to come.
Yeah. Does it? Yeah. Does it? I wanna point out. Does anyone notice anything about that page?
I don't even know what is pulled up on screen.
Oh, yeah, it's pulled up on screen right now.
No, I mean
something
like,
very,
I'm not
heavy.
tuned into the stream.
Oh, you're not tuned into the stream. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, catch the tail end of the stream after it's done processing, and you'll see. But this is just Leandro is I would say about 75 to 80% done. He said he just needs to finish in the campus in the background. But
is she about to jump, or
yeah.
if she is, I hope she does a flip.
Yeah, she's. Adobe, she'll do a flip. But yeah, the layout of this page is a thematic callback to the first page in issue 1, where she's on top of the building looking out over the cityscape.
Oh crap! It's issue 2. Damn.
Yeah, it's the first issue of the first page of issue 2.
Looks like Adobe's about to do what Epstein couldn't.
Yeah, well, Epstein didn't kill himself. So
speaking of issue 2, I just dropped the link over in your mom's room, Dan.
Yep, and I just swapped over to that right now. So when the stream catches up, you will see a sketch in progress. Actually, this is more than a sketch. This is a layout drawing that will become the final cover for Changeling issue 2.
Yeah, that's the This is the cover for issue 2, and yeah. I want to know. Okay, can anyone spot the reference here?
It's a little faint. It's hard to make the background out in this photo.
I know.
But it's maybe when it's a little bit more fleshed out, they might be able to spot the reference. But yeah, there is Maeve, there is Gavin, and there is it's picking her up right where the last issue left off. She's gonna go visit the Fey Realm, so pretty nice. Really super excited about that, and I know that that Matt is. Have you wrapped up the script for issue 2 yet?
It's almost complete.
Just got some things to work out, but it'll be ready by the end of the month.
It'll be ready. Awesome. Yeah. Well,
yeah, about at the end of the month. Yep.
Nice. So we're moving forward. This is the cover for Changeling issue 2. It's almost ready to have some inks laid down on it. This is page 1 of Adobe Kroger issue 2, and the first 15 pages of issue 2 are laid out. I'm just going to have him refine a couple of things, yeah, we're moving forward. My goal is to have an issue for every title, at least quarterly. That's my goal. I don't know if we'll reach it immediately, but that's my gold standard. Is I want to at least release a new issue every 3 months or so. So if we can make that, I'll be ecstatic. So that's why I'm kind of pushing forward to keep everything moving. Even if we have to pay out of pocket initially, just to keep the momentum going, we'll do that because we don't want to release issue 2 next December. That's why bother at that point. So anyway, so on that note, folks, thank you very much for all the entries. I will, if you're on the Discord, or if I'm on, or if you can reach me on Twitter or the Mythoverse account, please send me a DM to remind me. But I know I'm sending Nebel the $75. And
slide in his DM.
Yeah, slide into my DMs. I'm going to send Neostar. I'm going to send Dylan and Alabaster and Paula each $20, and I'll need probably the information from most of you to know where to send it. So go ahead and slide into my DMs, as was just said, and I'll get you all taken care of. And thank you for participating in the contest. Merry Christmas, everybody, And on that note, you can feel free to continue talking amongst yourselves, but I'm going to cut the stream now. So until next time,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to one and all.